I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. Nursing is supposed to be one of those careers to where it's stability, it's safe. You're supposed to make your bag, you're supposed to make your paper and be able to move how you want to move. Now, with what we got going on with these loans and garnishing wages and all that kind of stuff, I think it's safe to say that things are probably going to get crazy. And let me not call it crazy, because sometimes you have to do what you have to do. But one thing that I discovered is that the average nursing graduate is carrying between $40,000 and $100,000 in student loans. I even know some people who've paid upwards of $100,000 to receive their BSN degree. Now, meanwhile, most first-year nursing salaries are about between $60,000 to $85,000 a year, and that depends on where you live. To be honest, the threat of garnishment when it comes to your wages under this new, under the president's proposal. But after taxes, the cost of living, and now we got these looming threats of garnishment of your wages when it comes to student loans. That dream may not feel like a dream. And what dream? I'm talking about the nursing dream. Now, I will say this. If you took out student loans, it is your responsibility ultimately to pay them back. It is what it is. A lot of us don't read the fine print when it comes to student loans and interest. A lot of us take out these loans with plans to never ever pay it back. How you get down is how you get down. But I'm just gonna keep it a buck with you. It is still your responsibility to pay back your student loans at the end of the day, because you were the one to take them out. Now, how you pay them back, ladies and gentlemen, that's a different story, but we're not gonna get into that on this video. Now, I'll be honest with you. I have been very fortunate in my education when it comes to how much I've paid for school and tuition, because for some of you who don't know my story, I am an LPN, currently in progress to get my RN. I'm just waiting to take my NCLEX. I went to LPN school, and my LPN tuition was about $13,000. But what happened was my school ended up closing because secretly they were charging people for room and board. So originally it was supposed to be $30,000, but once they found out that they were cheating people, they lowered it down to $13,000, because at the end of the day they were trying to hurry up and get the last little money they could before they closed down. They changed the name of the school, lowered the payments, and that was that. Now, fortunately, I was blessed because we didn't even have to pay the $13,000 back. So all in all, I pretty much went to LPN school for free. I understand that is not the norm. But with this LPN to RN thing, I had a few different options. I had an option to go to Ohio, because I live in Michigan. That would have been $23,000. I had an option to go to an online LPN to BSN program. That was $40-something thousand. I had the option. I just had different options, and most of them were ranging between $20,000 and $40,000. Then I had the option that I took. I went to a community college. I moved to the area, and since I was a resident in the area, that lowered my cost of tuition even more, and I decided to go that route, and that turned out to be about $6,700. Now, I live in Michigan. I would say that Michigan's tuition is pretty fair compared to the other states where I've looked. I haven't really found any other programs that, not that I've been looking like that. And if you know any other programs that are cheap like that when it comes to LP and RN bridge programs, please put it in the comment section, because I really don't know. But I haven't really seen any other programs that were that cheap, I'm gonna be honest with you. And the school I went to was a good program. And I know a lot of y'all been asking me, CJ, what school are you going to, or what school did you go to? I'm not going to say until I have my license, because it's a lot of haters, and I'm just not going to say it until I have my license, point blank, period. Once I have my license, I have no problem giving that information away, because I do want people to take advantage of the situation that I've had. Now, it's not that hard to probably figure out what school that I went to, but I'm just not going to say it. But anyway, it's kind of crazy because, again, you can't really judge how somebody gets their license. But if I'm somebody who is looking into getting into the nursing game and I'm trying to weed out all the options that I have, I know some people like to go to these universities because of the name and the prestige. Fine. But paying $40,000, between $40,000 and $100,000 for the same degree and the same license that you can get at a 2-year college and transition into a university for a year program at significantly less of a cost, to me, that just makes more sense. I mean, unless you have like a scholarship or something. I try to talk to the younger people about stuff like that, because I know a lot of them, they hear schools like U of M, or they hear schools, and this is not a diss or a knock towards anybody that's going to those programs, but they hear schools with the big names on it and they want to go there, and I get that. There's nothing wrong with that, but I'm just trying to save you some paper. Unless you have like a scholarship, like a full ride scholarship, then I just think it would be easier to do those classes at a community college, and in a lot of those community colleges you can get your associate's degree and then transfer to to a university, and you'll be good. You'll have the same degree and the same license. You feel me? I'm going to be working with nurses that have $100,000 plus in student loan debt, and we're going to be doing the same job with the same license. And I'm not saying that that's a bad thing. I'm just trying to save you money. And see, when you're saving money like that, and when your ultimate goal is to be debt free, you can move how you want to move. You can travel how you want to travel. You can invest and not have that lingering worry of student loans in the back of your head. Because I don't know if y'all seen TikTok or anything like that, but TikTok and all them people on there, they've been going crazy about these student loan garnishments. It's not cool, and I understand that some of us didn't even know better. We don't know better, but that's why I'm making videos like this to try to tell you, so you can learn how to finesse your way through the game. And then when you think about it, these student loans they're not just a burden anymore. These student loans are literally controlling nurses' careers, how they move, and their mental health and their mindset. You got nurses working at toxic jobs and toxic environments because they can't afford to leave, because they may be getting a good wage, or they may be used to how a system works and they can get all the shifts that they want because they got to pay these loans off. Or you got nurses that's working shift after shift after shift just to start to cover some of these expenses, because a lot of us graduate, we get that license, and we think that we finna ball out. Now, don't get me wrong. Nurses, if managed well, can live really good lives. They can go on trips every month. They can do what they want to do. But it just has to be managed well and done properly. And then with all that work, you got burnout happening faster than ever. And one thing that I see about burnout, and a lot of these nurses fail to mention on these internet streets, is that they don't talk about the financial burden and the struggle that's behind a lot of that burnout. Some of us trying to maintain a lifestyle that we know we can't live, or student loan debt or something like that. And then with the president threatening to start garnishments to people's wages, you're going to have nurses lose 10 to 15% of their checks as soon as they get paid. And we got inflation that's up. You got a lot of hospitals that are trying to freeze the rates. And you know the crazy part about this? You got the corporations that are still making a lot of money. A lot of nurses are not. Now, again, I don't want people to think that I feel a certain way about nursing, because it's still a powerful career. What I'm saying is that you have to strategize how you move and how you play the game, because again, it's still a game. In a game, the person that creates the game, they don't create the game so you can win. They create the game so they can win. You just have to be smart about it and learn how to move within the game so you can win. So if I was you, and let's just say I'm a person that is an LPN and I'm trying to choose what school that I want to go to, if I were you, I would choose something that has a light a light loan or something that you could pay out of pocket. Personally, I pay for school out of pocket. I would say stop worrying about the prestige of a school. If you young, if you're a high schooler and you want to be a nurse or something like that, and you don't have a full ride scholarship, I would say hit them community colleges. Try to find as many scholarships and programs and things like that as you can. I know it's still a lot of free money out there. I just don't believe in going into debt for the sake of going into debt with everything that's finna pop off or that's threatening to pop off at the moment. You have got to start living below your means. I know you want to flex on TikTok. I know you want to flex on Facebook and YouTube, and that's cool. But if you don't have the money to flex with, then you're just window flexing, if you will. It's no point to do it. Why would I go out here and try to flex when I know my life's finna get cut off? That makes no sense. I would definitely say if you are somebody with loans or debt, attack them joints as early as you can or as soon as you can. Let me tell you something. Now that school is over, my goal, one of my immediate goals is to pay off every single piece of debt that I have. And I don't have a lot, but the debt that I do have, I want to attack it 0. That is my goal, because I don't want to go into a new career or a new level within my career in debt. That don't make no sense to me. So a lot of y'all probably wondering like, well, dang, if I got to pay for this and do that, is nursing still worth it? 100%. I believe nursing is the passport to a better life. I really do. It's just, again, be careful how you use the passport. Student loans can trap you. If you're going to take them out, make sure you strategize the plan to pay them back. Make sure you read the fine print. Make sure you learn about what interests are, because you have a lot of people that say they took out a loan for this much, but then it'll be a whole different amount when you look back at it. And well, that's because you have interest and you did not read the fine print. You just saw somebody was going to give you $100,000 and you took that money and you ran with it. Now your loans, your wages are getting garnished, and that's not cool. So if you are a nursing student, if you are an LPN that's in a bridge program, if you're an RN and you're advancing in your career as far as education, let me know in the comments and let me know, how did you pay for school? Did you pay for it out of pocket? Do you have a lot of student loans? Let's continue the conversation. Ladies and gentlemen, I haven't promoted this in a while, but make sure you go to thehighvaluenurse.com, get the ebook. I'm working on a new book, How I Survived Nursing School, RN School, the bridge programs. This book is definitely going to be for my LPNs to RNs, but my traditional students, y'all can take a lot from this too, because a lot of it is just going to be my strategies, my tips, and my tricks that I use to become successful and your boy maintain a 4.0, graduating with a 4.0 out my nursing program. So anyway, ladies and gentlemen, my name is CJ, aka the High Value Nurse, checking in once again, back with another video. And if you don't do nothing else, get paid. Young nurse, get paid. Peace.